Welcome to the Fish Bowl. We're doing everybody. My name is Chief here, and joining me today is Juicy. We're going to talk about LSU baseball taking on Alabama. LSU softball is going to be on the road taking on Texas. So both these squads had a bad weekend, to say the least. Here, Juicy. Um, softball A&M. It was expected. We kind of figured that.
Well, I thought they would at least win one game.
I think we kind of we both I think agreed that they were going to lose a series, but I didn't think they were going to get swept. But I mean, A&M, they're playing on a different level for softball, baseball. I was shocked actually they got swept by Auburn. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card for 2025 so far. So Juicy, hitting wasn't there this weekend. What can you tell us?
For baseball, you want to know, man, the offense was not there. The pitching was they didn't
We'll try to get Juicy back on here. All right.
Hello?
Hey, okay, go ahead.
I just said offense. I know Milo. I think they only hit one home run the whole entire weekend. It was just. The errors too. Like there's some parts in the game where what should have been fly balls or ground outs. I don't know the field. It was just a catastrophe waiting to happen.
Yeah. So in the first game, LSU committed 2 errors. They only hit the ball 6 times. And whenever the other teams hit the ball 13 times, that one you could blame on the pitching because getting 8 runs on you, that's typically, you could blame that one on the pitching. Saturday, 4 runs is winnable. I mean, LSU actually out-hit Auburn. They just didn't hit them whenever they had the runners in the scoring position and stuff. So that was a big stat there that was missing over the weekend. Sunday, 3-2. Close game. 4 hits. Auburn out hit you. 9 hits, 9-4. 9 hits to 4.
Another
will get you every too much anyway on their scoring position. But LSU did rebound the midweek and picking up a 10-3 win over McNeese, which McNeese actually has a very high RPI this year, believe it or not. They're at 27.
McNeese was on a 12-game or 14-game win streak or something.
Yeah, and then you got a 3-game series against number 15 Alabama. So it's going to be. I
feel like that McNeese game was a much-needed game to get back in the win column.
I mean, you get Alabama, then Tennessee the next upcoming weekend. Their last mid-series game is going to be against Grambling on May 6th. So we still got a couple of games left here. If you want to think about how all this is going to go here, LSU looks so good against. They look so good against Oklahoma. It was kind of a shock that whenever they went to Auburn, that they would they swept Oklahoma. I didn't think they would sweep Oklahoma. I thought they went 2 out of 3. And then Auburn came, and it's okay, I thought they would probably take 2 out of 3 against that one as well. But it's been a very interesting couple of days here, to say the least, in the SEC for sure.
At home, LSU's ERA is sub 3 when they go on road.
We're going to pull up the baseball standings here real quick.
Being at home does have an advantage for them.
So, if you look here, Texas is 13-2. Okay, this is the baseball standings from this year, as y'all can clearly see. 3 games back from Texas in the conference here. Don't pay attention to overall, because overall only comes to play whenever it's a tied in the conference. So 3 games are left in there. LSU does not. They did play Texas earlier, and they lost that series. So Texas does own a tiebreaker over LSU in the conference in the regular season. So they have to figure out a way to beat Tennessee for sure in Alabama. don't want to overlook Alabama just to get to Tennessee. Tennessee
At
sitting
least
there
they have
11
them
and
both at
4.
home. At least they have them both at
Yeah,
home.
yeah. So look, that's a very good blessing there. It's absolutely crucial for LSU to beat Alabama because Alabama right here, they're only 8-7 in the conference here. It's absolutely crucial to win this series because you only got a 2-game lead over Alabama. Auburn really pulled themselves up here. They were 6-6 entering that series last week, and they're 9-6 now. LSU did themselves a disservice by getting swept there because they were right up there with the contenders like Arkansas and Texas. And they find themselves back here a little bit here, but D1 baseball when they were doing their projections and stuff here, we posted on our Instagram page here. I don't actually. Let me go pull up. I'm gonna pull up Facebook here real quick. Let's see. I'm just trying to get this thing going. Okay, Fishbowl Sports Radio. La di la di la la. So I'm gonna pull up this little graphic here so y'all can see it here. It was just posted. Also, John Emery is in the transfer portal as well, and Gavin Guidry,
Is
he's
out for
out
the
for the season. Yeah, so that's just some news to kind of share with you. Let's share this tab here quick. All right. So Dallas Baptist, McNeese, and Fairfield are going to be in the Baton Rouge Regional according to D1 Baseball. LSU is projected as a number 9 national seed. Now, why is that important? They just missed out on hosting the Supers. Now, there's a lot of games left to be played here. So let's not hold up the pitchfork to be in there, which right now RPI is at 9, but LSU, their strength of schedule is like at a 70 right now. Even with all the high caliber ranked teams that they played in the SEC, they're still not quite up there yet. So they're gonna have to end up trying to get 2 out of 3 from Alabama to really raise this thing here. Now that strength of schedule number is gonna obviously go down, which is what you want here, because you got Alabama at 11, you got Tennessee at 5 right here. Arkansas is currently at a 2 RPI, South Carolina at 48, and A&M's at 51. So obviously the strength of schedule is going to drop because all those numbers are lower than what is going on there.
A&M's a team, another one on the rise too, though.
Yeah, A&M is slowly starting to turn the wheels and get better and starting to get heat up at the right time, which is what baseball is. You want to be heating up at toward the end of the season. So with this projection right here, like I said, a lot of games left here. I could see them missing out on a super, but if I'm LSU, I wouldn't want to go on the road just based on how they played so far. So let's go share. I'm gonna share this tab here real quick. Let's go. Okay. Do you see is Warren Nolan up on your end?
No, it's not up on my end.
You don't see the because I should be sharing it right now. Yeah, I
Oh
see it
yeah,
up.
yeah. I see it on the
Okay.
screen. What you sharing it? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe run like a little bit. So look how good they are at home. 23-1. 5-5 road record. Good road team. I mean, that's strictly 500. And you see, look, they lost the last 3 games on the road. But then again, that was the Auburn series. If you taking that for what it's worth, there, non-conference RPI 22, 9 RPI strength of schedule at 70. Like that, this number is going to go down because they're playing Tennessee and Alabama, and the rest of them later on in South Carolina and Texas A&M. So we're looking at these quadrant records here. So the committee's looking at that very much so here. So for LSU to host a super regional, they got to start. They got to start winning these series sort of back in here, especially this Alabama series. Do they have to sweep Alabama? I don't think they have to, but I think 2 out of 3 is almost a must here for them to even think about getting the supers. Tennessee, you definitely got to win that series to get to the supers. I feel because that's like either sweeping that would be a chef's kiss basically because you're gonna have 3 straight wins over an RPI 5 team. That's gonna put you in a really good spot to say the least here. You see, Southeastern isn't a bad team either. The worst team that they're gonna play the rest of the year is Grambling. Grambling's way up there at 284. I know it's kind of small. At 284 right there is not something you want to deal with, especially when you're competing for a super regional spot, host spot. LSU's making it to the postseason. They have a good enough resume right now to get in there. So I would not worry about them missing the regionals. They probably could lose the rest of their games and still probably end up making it. Honestly, on because let's see, 6, 7, 8, 11, 14, 17. I know what the predictor has this going here because in there now. So let's just see. 14, 18, and 12 in conference, finishing at 9. So they schedule dropping down to a 26 here. Now let's see what games it has winning. Like sometimes it throws some weird numbers at times where they sweep teams and stuff. And Alabama sweep. I'm skeptical on that one. I think they take 2 or 3 this weekend. What you think, Juicy?
I think so. Being back.
You still there, Juicy? I don't know if you cut
Much
out.
better is at home. I think the 2 out of 3. I'm not definitely after this past weekend, but all their conference series wins have all been sweeps though. So
Hey, they
every
definitely
conference
need a
series
big.
they've won this year has been a sweep.
Yeah, either Oklahoma one, Mississippi State, and the Missouri. But if one thing they have all in common is their RPI isn't lower than a 20 that they won in a series here. So that's why I think this 11 one's a stretch for them to sweep. I think that's really a stretch because we haven't seen it this year where they have beaten someone that's over an RPI of 20. There's a sweep there. Tennessee, I could believe them winning 1 out of 3, but they play LSU plays better at home. They might drop one right now. This one's a toss up to me. I'm gonna wait till next week to make my pick on it, but I just think that's you could take this for what it's worth here. I could see them sweeping A&M, to be honest. I could see them beating Grambling. I could see them beating Southeastern.
If series, I won't even be mad about.
It's the Arkansas one too.
I feel like if they win Bama series, I feel like they'd be okay with Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Juicy. I think this is like the Arkansas one. It's gonna be really tough because you're gonna have like they're ranked number 2 in the country. They're right up there in the SEC here, so that series could play a big role in who wins the regular season SEC title, and then South Carolina to wrap it all up. But looking at it there, you're putting yourself in a really good spot if you're able to take down Tennessee and Arkansas in a 3-game series. So there's a good possibility they'll play themselves into a super. I mean, be really hard for them to say they're not going to end up taking that super there for sure. So let me get us back on cam here. Oh, Juicy's not having connection issues on his end. Let me just undo this one here. So yeah, bring me back on cam here. So anyway, looking at how this is going to go here, it is. We'll see how this goes here with everything going. So let's look at LSU softball. Now they've had a tough. They A&M. They're in a class body this year. After that, they dropped that series at the road. It's a brutal turnaround. It's like 6 straight away games against two of the top 3 teams in the country currently ranked right now. I know Danica Coffey and I know Macy Bergeron, all of them were really great. It's gonna be rough for LSU softball this weekend. 3 to Texas. I think they might sneak out one, and they'll end up winning McNeese next week here on that Tuesday night matchup. But after that, you got Florida and Arkansas to close it out here. So interesting here to see how. Let's share this tab here so everybody can kind of see what we got talking about here. So LSU softball, good high RPI of 6 as they lose this series to Texas. Well, maybe a little bit. They might drop to 7, but you're still in that super regional realm where you can actually make it there. So Florida's at a 2 and Arkansas is at a 3. So if they win, because the strength of schedule is not going to get much. This thing is so SEC concentrated. The softball thing is because 11 that might even drop further down to 11. They might be in the top 8. But when it's all said and done, let's just look at predicted results because I'm kind of curious to see what's actually going to happen there. 39 and 14, 11 and 13 in the SEC in all those games. No, they don't. Okay, I was wondering. Texas 2 out of 3. They like okay, so I predict they got me with these two. They got a 2 out of 3 win for them against Florida, and getting swept by Arkansas, which I don't see that happening against Arkansas here. Um, I think that's kind of a far fetched thing. They got them RPI of 10. So they probably have them just missing out here. I want to see what D1 softball has to say about all that. So let's look at D1 softball real quick here, and then we'll go look at the standings here in the softball realm of things. Wait for that to pull up just to kind of see what happened in here. Just curious. Just softball, look, and Texas saying back weeks here. It's going to be get a super rebirth. Now, Florida, this is interesting to say the least here. They're at PI, and it's going to be something to say here. You know, but that's going to drop. Okay, I think we're back. We had to look a little momentarily lapse and think. Let's see if I can get Juicy on.
My connection's
So
struggling tonight. I don't know why.
yeah, we're having connection issues tonight. Mine is too. But anyway, you know LSU softball. They're gonna have a tough road with Texas and Texas A&M coming in and just doing what they got to do here. So at the standings, I'm not gonna pull it up because we're having connection issues. Uh, LSU's 8-7. They're like 8th in the SEC so far, and they could drop further if they lose this, get completely swept by Texas. But um, they have a good opportunity here. I'm kind of curious to see how all that's going to work out for them. Juicy, what
Man,
you think here? How you feel about Texas and LSU?
I'm not feeling too great about LSU, and then especially going on the road. But I was just gonna comment and say, man, the season started off with so much great promise. I feel like it's turned into another one of the Beth Torina kind of years. But I mean, there's like that. There's still some softball left to be played. I'm not nearly as optimistic as I was a few weeks ago. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, they got an RPA that you would host a regional, obviously, but not enough for you to host a super. But the way so this LSU softball team, if you look at, I need to get out the predicted results here. Where okay, there's a schedule. Let's go back to what we had before. Road record 4-5. They played really good at home. They like LSU baseball. It's obviously easier to win at home, but you want the road to Omaha and Oklahoma City to go through Baton Rouge. That's what you honestly want. That'd be your dream. Saying it's easier to win at home than it is on the road. And statistics prove that. That's just the way it is. The restlessness and stuff like that. So with Texas being a road series, I got them dropping 2 out of 3. Florida being at home, I'm a little bit more optimistic about it. They might actually be able to beat Florida here. Florida's a RPI of 2, which would be a huge boost to them, but then they finish it off on the road against Arkansas. And I think they need to win that Arkansas series to really host the Super. It's going to be close, though. It's still too close to call. I think they dropped 2 out of 3. What you think, Juicy?
I'm agreeing with you. I think they'll drop 2 out of 3. They need to win the series, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Then they got to have a strong showing these last 3 weekends after this one for sure. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
LSU baseball and LSU softball are going to be hosting regionals. I'm saying that right now. I think they will. I mean, I think they're pretty much cemented in their spots there. But we'll just see what happens there. So thank y'all for tuning in here to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. We're going to see y'all here next time here. We'll see what happens with these games coming up here, and hopefully the Tigers can get some wins and be able to, get back into the thick of the SEC conference standings here for the regular season. Thank y'all and have a good night. See y'all here next time on the Fishbowl Sports Radio. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.